Stay away from Willow. It is none of your
Is it just me, or does he sound like a spoiled teenager? It is none of your business. Let me live my life. That's what it sounds like to me. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Once again, my name is Brandon. I'm an acting and performance coach, and today, in the weirdest way possible, we are wrapping up season 1 of Buffy by recording episode 8 of season 1, I, Robot, You, Jane. I've already got episode 12 in the bag. You'll be seeing these in the order they were meant to come out, I promise. But this is the last one of season 1 that I'm recording. It's very complicated. I would be more than happy to go over it. Maybe I will sometime between seasons, just so you can have an idea of what to expect when we get through the season. I do have a top 10 list that was made for this season that I plan on kind of going through and giving my thoughts on, and then giving you my top 5, because I just don't think there should be a top 10 for a season with 12 episodes. It didn't make any sense to me. But I'll give you my top 5 and we'll move on from there. Also, there are some other little things, some interviews, featurettes, other creators on YouTube have put together some things that I kind of want to look at and kind of just do a little reaction to, do a video on, give my thoughts on. I think it could be fun. I think it could be something interesting for us to sort of play around with. So one thing I do want to say, if any of you know of any compilations of other reactors reacting to big moments in Buffy, so in season 1, the two biggest ones that come to mind are Buffy finding out that Angel's a vampire in episode 7, Buffy finding out she's going to die in episode 12, Buffy dying in episode 12. If you know of any compilation videos of other reactors and their reaction to those moments or their thoughts about them afterwards, send them my way, because it may be a thing to do to kind of react together, to spend time and watch together other reactors going through these big moments, hearing their thoughts on what happened, and seeing if maybe, you know, if we agree with their thoughts, if they're controversial, to kind of talking about where their mind is, considering they don't know what's coming down the line. So I just thought it could be fun. So that might be something we can do. But for now, what we're going to be doing is just taking a look at one of the more underwhelming episodes of season 1, I, Robot, You, Jane. We get some interesting acting moments from a couple of characters. Now, a couple of characters that I have been hard on at times, Cordelia and Willow. Willow, at the very least, will get a couple of moments in this episode when I'm really impressed. I'm very impressed with a couple of moments from her, from an actor's perspective in this episode. So I'm excited to get into that. I love giving praise to these characters, so it's something that I'm looking forward to. So if you are ready to jump into this one, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave me a comment in the comment section down below. Check the description for all my social media links, including a link to the Patreon where you can get videos just like this one, but in their full uninterrupted glory. Also, there are some other things going to be popping up on there. I know I've got a couple of pilots on the channel now here on YouTube. The following episodes to those pilots will probably show up on Patreon. I don't know when I'll get them edited and put on YouTube. So if you're interested in seeing the rest of Moon Knight, if you're interested in seeing the rest of Halo, or anything else I might put up on the channel between now and when you see this or after, the rest of those will likely end up on Patreon long before they end up on YouTube. Editing for TV series and films is just a huge endeavor, and I just don't have the time to go through all of those and Buffy and still maintain my second channel. So if you want to see those, come on over to the Patreon. There's also the Discord down there. Tons of great people over there just waiting to say hi to you. And yeah, without further ado, let's just jump into this Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 1, episode 8, I, Robot, You, Jane, our very first Willow-centric episode. I'm actually kind of excited. It has been a while since I've sat down to watch a Buffy episode, and I really do love this show. I know I critique it to high heaven a lot of the time, but I am deeply in love with this show. It was a huge part of my teenage years.
tutto quello che desidero, il tuo amore. El potere de questo circolo de Gales.
That is a crazy looking beast. I mean, you just imagine being that actor though. Like, you come to set, they put you in all this makeup, takes probably like 6 hours, and then you get on set, you do this little head twist, say a couple of lines, and then they say, look at the ceiling as though you can sense something. Now scream, and he just sits there and screams probably for a good minute and a half.
Oh, great. A book.
No file.
Here, I'll get it.
Oh, thanks, Dave.
Scan it. Rupert.
Introducing
Scan it.
Jenny Calendar.
Of course. I happen to believe that one can survive in modern society without being a slave to the idiot box.
The only reality is virtual. If you're not jacked in,
You're not alive.
I'll bet it is.
She is cute, isn't she?
All right, guys, let's wrap it up for today.
I've just got a few more. I'll hang.
I mean, obviously I knew that she was in this episode, but when I was kind of briefing at the beginning in the intro, I completely First of all, she's adorable. Second, I completely spaced on the fact that this is the episode in which we meet Jenny Calendar. Where am I?
Willow! Willow, hey, wait up! Oh, Buffy,
Okay.
I didn't even see
This
you.
is a point where Willow's acting is not that awesome.
Okay, that's it. You have a secret, and that is not allowed.
Okay, watch Buffy's face. But she's right now, look at the mood she's in. She's saying, you have a secret, and that's not allowed. And Willow's going to say, why not? And she's going to, her whole demeanor is going to change. Everything about her mood, her state of mind is going to shift. And well, there's a rule, and it'll be completely natural. I've talked before about how emotions travel, they transition, they don't just appear and pop out of nowhere. And she is so good at this, and it's just natural emotional transitioning. So she goes from this to there's a rule, and then when Willow tells her that she maybe met someone, she gets excited. And then whenever Willow says, I don't know, because she hasn't actually met the guy, the look, it just completely shifts. But watch Willow throughout this exchange. If you'll watch the both of them, you'll see these big shifts. Nothing happens on Buffy's face until she hears Willow's responses and reacts.
I knew it. This is so important.
So good.
When did you meet?
Last week after we did the scanning project in the library.
Does he go here? What's his name? Have you kissed him? What's he like?
No, Malcolm, no, and very nice.
Oh, what's he look like?
I don't know.
Look at the face. Such a great job. Don't get me wrong, Allison Hannigan is an incredibly talented actress. She's very good. I feel like she wasn't always as committed, especially in the earlier seasons.
Seeing a guy and you don't know what he looks like. Does it involve a midget and a block of ice? Willow, I think it's really great that you have this cool pen pal, but don't you think you're kind of rushing all into this?
Oh, see, I knew you'd react like that.
I just want to make sure you're careful, that's all.
Check out that resolution. Imagine what this beast could do in the internet today. Imagine what this episode would look like if it were made today. It would be very different.
Why does everything have to be about looks?
What if you guys get really, really intense and then you find out that he has a hairy back?
The deal breaker of all deal breakers.
Looking at the logs, you and Dave are clocking a pretty scary amount of computer time.
You'll die.
This isn't my report.
Check out that laptop.
Xander.
Oh, I can't fool you. You see right through my petty charade. Oh, Malcolm, right?
That's nice. Have a good time.
He certainly looks perky.
Yeah, color in the cheeks, bounce in the step. Everyone deserts me. I'm not interested in Willow like that.
Yeah, but you got used to being the belle of the ball.
Tell me she's not flirting.
I mean, sure, he says he's a high school student, but I can say I'm a high school student. Okay, but I can also say that I'm an elderly Dutch woman.
Look, he's not wrong. They play this off like it's an over-exaggeration or an overreaction, but it's not wrong.
Xander, you get me started. We are totally overreacting.
But it's fun, isn't it?
I don't know. I kind of feel like it's a legitimate reaction.
I'm jacked in.
This kid wasn't overly stable to begin with, right?
I'm jacked in.
Talking to Malcolm last night?
Yeah. What?
Look at this scene.
Should be saying this just isn't like you.
Not like me to have a boyfriend? I don't understand why you don't want me to have this.
The power dynamic in this scene, the way they compose this blocking is intense. Buffy is completely in the power position.
Malcolm and I really care about each other.
I thought you said you overslept.
Malcolm said you wouldn't understand.
Malcolm was right. Not to mention the back turn, the walking away, Willow sitting, her standing. Not to mention the color. Her white shirt, Willow's dark colored clothes. They really set Buffy on the virtuous side of that conversation.
If I wanted to find out something about someone, if someone emailed me, could I trace the letter? Well, is there a way to find out exactly where a letter and e-letter came from? I mean, the actual location of the computer. Because you see, Willow's got this boyfriend, Malcolm, and to tell you the truth, I
Leave
think...
Willow alone.
Dave, what's going on?
Look.
Her spider
Talk to you
sense is
later,
tingling.
okay?
It's not just Willow. Dave, Fritz, they're all wicked jumpy.
Those boys aren't sparklingly normal as it is. Well, I suppose you could tail Dave, see if he's up to something.
What, in dark glasses and a trench coat?
Wouldn't be my first choice. But of course, Buffy, in true Buffy fashion, opts for the most conspicuous look.
Looked pretty functional from where I stood. I don't have a clue what they were doing. Something about computers, right? I mean, he is off the chart smart. My spider sense is tingling.
I forgot she said that. That's perfect. I've been saying that for a while now.
Kids really dig the library, don't you?
We're literary.
To read makes our speaking English good. That's incredible. I love that so much. Sometimes Xander has the best lines.
Buffy just makes trouble. That's why she got kicked out of her old school.
How did you know that? I have to sign off. I'll talk to you later.
You're a snob.
I have no such thing.
Oh.
She is
you are a
crushing
big
on him
snob.
so hard right now.
These musty old books have a great deal more to say than in any of your fabulous web pages. How odd. I haven't looked through all the volumes yet. I didn't,
What is it?
Now his spider sense is tingling. I love this moment from both of them.
Well, it's been so nice talking to you.
We were fighting.
I love Jenny so much. I'm so sad. One of the things that's kind of hard about watching the show for its third, fourth, fifth time, whatever, is that you know some things, and then you can't help but when you begin to enjoy something, like a good scene with Miss Calendar, just the sadness just creeps in because you know where it's going, you know?
This is how droughts get started.
Yes, and you are in California.
Buffy, get out!
Good on you, Dave. Good job. It's your best
I
hair
can't do
ever.
it.
The project is almost complete. You won't have to do it again. All I want is your love.
No.
At least now I'll have some peace.
Tell me the truth. How's my hair? I don't understand what would make Dave do a thing like that.
I think perhaps I do. Remained locked within the book, harmless, unless the pages were read aloud. A very deadly and seductive demon. He draws people to him with promises of love, power, knowledge.
You released Moloch?
Way to go.
I didn't read it.
Okay.
Dreadful calendar woman found it in...
I know it doesn't seem like much. First of all, she's just adorable. I can't help that, right? Beyond that, there is something as an actor, as a director, whenever you're directing scenes like this or performing in scenes like this, the goal is to simply be, to exist, to allow the dialogue to flow through you as naturally and quickly or slowly as it needs to, be a good scene partner and to work with your actors to hit your blocking, to maintain the narrative. But at the end of it all, no matter what else you're doing intellectually, emotionally, you should just simply be existing. And Sarah Michelle Gellar is one of the best young actors that I think I've ever seen at this. And it's so subtle. It's not a great deal of effort being put into that. She simply accepted the circumstances that she's living in, the imaginary circumstances of the show, and she's just existing in them. It just makes for a very pleasant experience. Those little moments that we grin at, the ones that make us smile or chuckle under our breath, not the big laugh haha moments, not the big dramatic moments, but those little moments that just kind of make us smile. That is the mark of someone who's really, really naturally talented or incredibly skilled.
Where was it?
She understands.
In a pile with
Watch
others
Xander
that were,
here.
Scanned.
They have this look of recognition
And that really...
on their face, but he's looking back like, what are y'all looking at? What's happening? I don't understand. That is a very consistent character trait, and you'll see him give that look many times if you pay attention.
So which file do you think it is? Delete the whole thing.
Stay away from Willow. It is none of your
Is it just me, or does he sound like a spoiled teenager just then? It is none of your business. Let me live my life. That's what it sounds like to me.
Okay, I'm gonna check the computer lab, and you guys call her home.
Poor Dave.
Dave, he's dead.
How?
Okay, you and I are gonna go to Willow's house. Giles, you need to come up with a way to get Moloch out of the net. Then get Miss Calendar. Maybe she can help you.
Another thing that I never really clocked until I've really started looking at this from like an analytic point of view. Again, spoiler warning, she becomes independent. She leaves the council. She is, as Riley would put it, you're like, make the plan, execute the plan. Nobody telling you what to do. Nobody giving you orders, right? But even as far back as here, brand new to Sunnydale, a 16-year-old girl, she's barking orders at Giles. I mean, you know, not in a mean way, but she's giving the orders. She's making the plan. She's giving everybody their tasks. I don't think I ever really noticed before that she'd done that from the very beginning.
Dad, did you forget your keys again?
I got your message. What's so urgent?
There's a demon in the internet.
I know.
Willow! Let's just hope Giles can back us up.
Power surges, online shutdowns. You should see the bones I've been casting. You think the realm of the mystical is limited to ancient texts and relics? Divine exists in cyberspace, same as out here.
Are you a witch?
Techno-pagan is the term.
He's a little intrigued. And she is so into him.
Do you know how I got in?
He was, scanned is the term.
Poor baby.
I can't tell you how good it is to see you.
with my own. Yeah. Coming up is some of the best acting that Willow has given us so far for sure, but throughout the whole first season, absolutely.
Everything flows through me. To kill.
The first thing we have to do is form the circle of Kalis.
I don't understand. What do you want from me?
But you gave me life, took me out of the book that held me.
Pretending you loved me?
I do.
I just find it funny when she just walks through people like that.
Building security system is computerized.
Whoops.
You read, I type. Ready?
By the essence of the word, I command you.
Let me leave.
Here it comes.
But I love you.
So watch this moment. Whenever she says that I'm not yours, I'm never going to be yours. Pay attention. She's not just angry. She's heartbroken. It's not about, oh, you're disgusting or you're gross. You're a demon. I'm so upset. I've been betrayed, whatever. But the biggest thing that you see in her face, and it's so impressive as an actor, is her going through the process of realizing through the scene that she's not going to have a future with this guy, that this guy that she was falling in love with doesn't exist. Watch her face. Tell me if you think I'm right.
Don't say that.
There it is. Look at it. She's hurt.
You are mine.
I'm not yours. I'm never gonna be yours. Never.
That last never is where it was. It breaks my heart, man. There was so much pain in it. It wasn't anger. It wasn't disgust. It was pain. Never.
Demon come!
I won't go back!
Oh.
He's out of the net.
Remember when we used to call it The Net? Have any of you ever seen that movie? Sandra Bullock, The Net. Great film.
Wait!
I was omnipotent. I was everything. Now I'm trapped in this shell.
I think it's time we break up. So
Nice.
maybe we can still be friends.
You know, it's kind of crazy how many times Buffy ventures into the world of robots. For a show that's primarily supernatural, demons, witches, they do the robot thing multiple times.
Well, look who's here.
I just wanted to return this.
Yeah, she accidentally left it there.
Well, it was your book that started all the trouble, not a computer. Honestly, what is it about them that bothers you so much?
The knowledge gained from a computer it has no texture, no context.
But watch her face. Go back and watch her face while he's delivering the speech. In the middle of that, whenever the camera is on both of them, she's in the background, and he kind of casts his eyes down. She follows his gaze the same way Angel did Buffy's in episode 7.
We gonna go to the Bronze tonight? We three?
I'm just thinking about Malcolm.
This is probably my favorite ending scene of the entire series.
I thought I was really falling.
Hey, did you forget? The one boy I've had the hots for since I moved here turned out to be a vampire.
Right, and the teacher I had a crush on?
Giant
Giant praying
mantis? Yep.
Yeah, it's life on the Hellmouth. We're doomed.
It's great. It's so great. It's wonderful. I love it so much. So we got to see Jenny. We got to see Miss Calendar. Living for that. Love her so much. Still a little bit of sadness because I know what's coming, but who doesn't love Jenny Calendar? Yana of the Calderos people. Who doesn't love her? So that was Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 1, Episode 8, I, Robot You, Jane. I had to be careful when pausing this one because I'm having an issue with the audio, so I couldn't pause it and go back and show you things and go back and show you things like I wanted to. Even pausing it is going to create some complications in editing, but I really wanted to stop it a few times. Willow did some really good things in some places, not so great things in others. There were a lot of great moments acting-wise. Somebody commented on one of the YouTube videos that this isn't really their deal. They're not really into this style of or this sort of approach from a watch along because all the acting is great on Buffy, so there's not really anything to break down. And that's just not true. That scene with Buffy and Willow in the hallway is a very good example of how many times often on this show, several of the actors had a tendency to phone in scenes. They just did. That was a very good example of that. There have been others. We talked about the laughing scene in the hallway when in Halloween, or in Nightmares, when she just busted out laughing, and how that was likely a directing issue. I've had plenty of critiques for Charisma Carpenter. What's fun to me about breaking this down from an acting perspective is that I get to sort of pick apart where there are mistakes. I get to really highlight where there are good things being done. But even in picking apart the mistakes, I get to sort of show or talk about where characters really shine versus where they either struggle or just didn't give as much effort. And for me, I don't know, I could talk about that kind of stuff all day long. All right, I hope you enjoy listening to it. I hope you enjoy hearing things from my perspective, how I view these scenes, how I view their performances. Alyson Hannigan is a very talented actress, but she has her bag, and some of this stuff, the overjoyed stuff, like the really giddy stuff, really isn't always her bag, or at least wasn't early on. Again, I really feel like it was more a case of her kind of phoning a lot of the scenes in. And then when she got to that big scene with Malcolm, with the robot in the factory, she read the script and thought, oh yeah, I can dig my teeth into this. I can make this into something. This is my moment. And she really put a lot of effort into it. A lot of it has to do with time constraints. That kind of thing happens a lot in TV because they are on such a tight schedule. So it's not always even a really damning critique of the actor, just to say they're kind of phoning this part in because they don't always have the time to really nail everything. Now, that's kind of letting them off the hook because you just can. But it takes a lot. It takes an awful lot. And I don't hold it against any actor if they take a couple of scenes off. If their schedule is insane and they have other things going on. Alyson Hannigan was in the middle of making movies, I think, at this point in her career too. So that could have attributed to her really focusing more on that one pivotal scene and letting some of the other stuff slide. We're all human. We all have our priorities. They're all talented people. If they weren't talented, they wouldn't be on this show. So that's not the issue. All that being said, I'm going to stop rambling now. This was, again, Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 1, Episode 8, I, Robot You, Jane. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave me a comment in the comment section down below. Check the description for all my social media links, including a link to the Patreon where you can get full, uninterrupted, unedited versions of this reaction and all the other Buffy the Vampire Slayer reactions, at least through, I don't know, early season 2 right now, probably through to almost the end of season 2 before season 2 actually hits. Look forward to, after we get through with the first season, the top 5 video, maybe some other compilation videos, featurette reactions, things like that. I'm looking forward to doing some of those things. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. In the meantime, please remember to always be kind to each other, and most importantly, be kind to yourself.